when suddenly thunder, boom, and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut. Yes, sir.
I was sitting in my study, reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signal and activate
The arrival
of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
Yes, I made sure the windows were shut. Signaled the arrival of a storm. Thunder and lightning suddenly. Okay.
I was sitting in my study reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
I made sure the windows were shut. Very good. Midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. Okay, go ahead.
I was sitting in my study reading
In my study
reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
Right. Very good. I made sure the windows were shut. Signaled the arrival. Arrival. It's down here in your throat, basically. Arrival. Signal the arrival. It can be, that's that R sound. It's tricky for some people. Arrival. Almost like arrival. Maybe even like that. Arrival. This is how it sounds, not how it's spelled. Arrival. Okay, go ahead.
I was sitting in my study, reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
I made sure the windows were shut. Signal the arrival. You have to fight the wanting to do the arrival. Yeah, it's the RV and L. So sometimes you want to say alive. No. I like to eat rye bread. Rye bread. Arrival. Okay. I was sitting in my study. What is a study?
A small library at home, the room for the reading books.
Yeah, you could have
study and research.
I'm sorry, what?
Study and research, different.
Research? Well, yes, in this case, you're not sitting in your research room, you're sitting in your study. Yeah, exactly. You would have, let's say, a living room, and then maybe off to the side, there would be a smaller room where maybe there were books and things and a desk, like a desk and chair. And some people would, instead of being in the living room, would go into the study and there sit quietly and read the book. In this case, So a study, you can study in the study room, obviously. You sit at your desk and do your homework if you're in school, a student or something like that. You can study in the study. Where is he? Oh, he's in the study. What's he doing? He's studying. Pretty obvious. Study. The student is in the study, studying. Where's the student? He's in the study. What's he doing? Studying. Student, study, studying. Reading a book. It was near midnight.
Midnight.
What time is midnight?
12 a.m.
12.
12 a.m. 12 a.m.
12, maybe 12.
At night.
At night.
a.m.
Not the daytime.
p.m. 12 p.m.
Not
Yeah.
p.m.
12, right?
12 p.m.
Yeah.
after 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
p.m.
Think so?
Post meridian.
Not AM.
No.
Not AM, right? I don't know.
p.m.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Okay, midnight. Anyway, 12 midnight is that dark time at night when it is 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, yes.
When suddenly,
Immediately.
huh?
Immediately.
Quickly, yeah, quickly, by surprise.
Right.
All of a sudden,
Suddenly or all of a sudden. Right, out of the blue, so to speak. Oh, what was that? A sudden sound. You didn't expect it. It was, oh, there it is. With no notice, nobody told you anything. They didn't say, get ready, it's going to be thunder in 5 minutes. No, boom, there it is.
Right.
Suddenly, thunder, the boom, the boom, the boom, and the lightning, lightning storm. Do they have lightning in Thailand? I don't know.
Yes.
They
Yes.
do? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Everywhere.
And thunder. I've never heard thunder in Thailand.
There is but long time. Yeah,
We
long
have all the
time.
time in the rainy season.
So before some days, it was a thunderstorm.
It's rainy season.
Oh my gosh, really?
Can see.
Thunder and lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bangkok area?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so
So
signal.
you don't swear anything because the thunder will shock you.
Okay.
Don't
Signal.
swear anything.
Signal.
Sign. It's a sign.
Sign? Yeah, it's like a sign, signal. You can have a light signal that tells you to stop your car, red maybe, and green to go. The signal changed, it went from red to green. The signal, I can send a signal, little sign that something is about to happen. And in this case, the thunder and lightning gave me the notice, gave me the idea, it signaled to me that the arrival, the coming, the arrival of the storm is about to occur. So, what did I do? I put my book down, I got up, and I closed the windows to make sure the rain didn't come in.
Yeah.
Smart move. Arrival of the storm. Didi, you want to
Yes.
read it?
I was sitting in my study, reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signal the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
Exactly, right. The windows were shut. Arrival of a storm, I made sure the windows were shut. Go ahead.
I was sitting in my study reading a book. It was near midnight when suddenly thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut.
Right, very good. Midnight when suddenly, thunder and lightning signaled the arrival of a storm. I made sure the windows were shut. Whoa. Wow. Any questions about the words up there?
Arrival and reach, the same.
And
Reach.
reach.
R-E-A-C-H. Reach.
R-E-A-C-H?
Yes. Reach and
Uh,
arrival.
You could make a case, a little bit of a case for similar, but really, I reached the building at 10 o'clock. I arrived at the building at 10 o'clock. Yeah, you could make a case. Like a lot of words, you can make a case for using it. What time did you reach the airport? Oh, I arrived at 6 o'clock. Little bit, yeah, but not every case would reach and arrive be the same. I reached for the bag on the table. I reached for this, I reached for that. But in the case of arriving at some place or reaching a certain location, you could probably switch words.
So a line used for journey. For journey.
Yeah, well, or something coming. In this case, the storm. The storm arrived. You could say, you could probably make a case to say, signal that the storm was about to reach the area where I lived. You know, that's kind of convoluted in a way, but so it's better to say, signaled the arrival, not signaled the reaching of a storm. No, signaled the arrival, the coming of the storm. You could turn it all the way around and make it a little bit confusing by saying the storm was about to reach my home. Well, you know, not really that smooth. So in this case, it would be signal the arrival of a storm. The storm is coming. I can hear the thunder and I can see the lightning. It's about to reach my home. Something like that. Any other questions about that? Arrival. Arrival. Signaled. Signaled arrival. Suddenly. It was a very sudden move. Sudden, quick, unexpected.
Just suddenly, quickly said,
Very quickly, suddenly, by surprise. Almost like, oh, what was that? There was a sudden knock on the door. I'm sitting reading the book. Tap, 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 whoop. That would be sudden. Whoop. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, suddenly there came a tapping, a tap, tap, tapping at my chamber door. That is sudden. Who wrote that?
The ghost.
Who wrote that poem? One of the most famous in the world.
The God, right?
I don't know. That's a very, very famous poem.
If you release it.
The name of that poem, you should read it if you get a chance.
The raven.
The Raven.
It's a bird.
The black bird. Blackbird, the raven.
It's a crow. It's a crow.
So who is the
Black
poet?
bird.
Not a, well,
It's a crow.
it's a big crow. Let's
Big
put it that
crow.
way.
Oh.
So who is the poet of this poem?
I'm sorry.
Who is the poet?
Who was the poet? Oh,
Eagle.
oh,
Edgar Allan.
The writer. The
the
writer.
poet.
The poet.
Probably, and where did he write it? I've already given you notice about a certain city, Philadelphia. He was in Philadelphia
Of Philadelphia.
when he wrote The Raven. It's a very famous poem. If you get an opportunity, read it. It's
Good book.
oh, well, it's just a poem. It's, you know, maybe it's so long. It's just a one page, really, 1 or 2 pages tops. But it's a very well written and a very famous poem. Edgar Allan Poe.
I just know now, I don't know before.
The what?
I don't know this story. I don't know.
You don't
Never know, never know.
Nevermore.
Yeah.
Quote the Raven. Nevermore. That was part of
Yeah,
Poe. But it's a very famous, if you get a chance, read it. I think you might enjoy
It's a
it.
poet. It's a poet. It's a poet. Poet book.
Poetry,
Not a story.
Oh, well,
Not a fiction.
it is a poem.
Poem.
A
Poem.
poem
Poem.
written by the poet, who was an expert in poetry.
Shakespeare.
So he wrote the poem. Who wrote it? Oh, the poet. He was an expert in poetry. Edgar Allan Poe.
William Shakespeare is a poet.
Huh?
William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. William.
Oh, William
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. He wasn't so much a poet as a playwright. He wrote plays. He didn't. I don't know of any poem that Shakespeare wrote, but I do know
So
that
he
he
wrote
wrote
many
plays.
sonnets. He wrote many sonnets.
Sonnets?
Sonnets, yes, sir. Very famous sonnets of William Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay. Good job. Anyway, Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven. Good story. Okay. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country. Go ahead.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I want to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Right, very good. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted, it was yesterday afternoon
Yes.
in the past.
And you have-
I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country. Go ahead.
Went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Right, very good. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I went to borrow a book on the history of the Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to Thai country.
Right, to that country, for my trip to that country.
Yeah, Thailand is your country.
Just read what it said. I wanted to borrow a book on the history to help me prepare for my trip to that country. Go ahead.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare my trip to that country.
To help me prepare for my trip to that country. Right, very good. Wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country. Okay, go ahead.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Right, very good. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country. Go ahead.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Right, very good. Very good job. To help me prepare. Help me prepare. Don't forget the P of help. Okay. Go ahead.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Yeah, very good. To help me prepare for my trip to that country. I went to the library yesterday afternoon. Katie.
I went to the library yesterday afternoon. I wanted to borrow a book on the history of Thailand to help me prepare for my trip to that country.
Good, very good job. I went to the library. What is the library?
Library.
Library.
I will have a book for to people follow.
The room that many books.
Many books?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. A library could be a library, a public library, a big library, the main library, the library at your university or college, or it could be the library in your home. Maybe like a study. We were talking about a study. Well, you could make a case that it's like a library because I put all my books in the study. So I went to the library yesterday afternoon.
PM.
PM?
Yeah.
Or AM?
Yeah, PM.
Oh.
Yeah.
PM or AM, okay. Yeah, because obviously what it means is after 12 o'clock noon, sometime after 12. Maybe I went at 2 p.m., let's say. I wanted to borrow. What does it mean to borrow?
Lend a book.
Well, the library lends the book for, let's say, 2 weeks. You can have this book for 2 weeks because then I am borrowing the book for 2 weeks. I borrowed the book that the library lent to me.
Receive.
Borrow. Can I borrow your car? I need to go to Chiang Mai. I don't know about that. Couldn't you fly to Chiang Mai instead of taking my car?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, borrow. To take for a period of time. Could be a week, could be a month. It depends on whatever the deal is with the library. Usually a book would be a couple of weeks, more or less. On the history, the background, the story of Thailand, from day one, the history of Thailand. To help me get ready, prepare, find some information that'll help me when I go to Thailand to understand what's going on, to prepare, get ready for my trip, my voyage, my flight, my journey to Thailand, that country.
Especially money.
Hmm?
Especially money.
Especially money.
Yeah. Especially money.
To borrow money?
You lend me? You lend me money?
Oh yeah, you lend me money, I'll borrow money. To borrow for a period is to take for a period of time. The idea that if you borrow money from the bank, sooner or later, whether it's a month or 6 months or a year, you have to somehow pay the money back to the bank. You borrow, therefore you owe the bank, just like the letter O, owe the bank a certain amount of money. And they may even charge you interest on the money that you owe or borrowed. Interest, little fee for lending you the money for a period of time. Any questions about the words library, borrow, prepare, history, wanted, to help? Always finish the word. Help. Any other questions?
Clearly.
Understand everything?
Yeah. Not everything, but anything clearly right now.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Help me prepare the library. Yesterday afternoon at 2 p.m. I entered the library. Okay. Did most of those videos. Okay. Do some vocabulary here. The word we'll practice again. Okay. Appointment.
Appointment. Schedule. Arrive.
Depart. Remain. What does it mean to remain?
It's left. Something is left. Something is left. Still left.
Please remain in your seats. What does that mean? Please remain in your seats.
Reserve your seat.
Please remain. I will be going out of the room for 5 minutes. Please remain in your seats.
Reserve.
Just
Left the seat
sit
for
on
me.
your chair. Just sit down.
Stay there.
Stay there.
Stay in the seat. Please remain in your seat. I will be back in 5 minutes.
On the same stick on the seat.
What?
Stick on the seat.
Stick?
You stick on the seat.
Stick?
Yes, stick on the. Don't move to anywhere.
Well, yeah, you could say, please stick to your seats.
Yeah.
But anyway, please, for today, it's remain. Please remain, stay.
Stick around. It says.
Or you mentioned the word what was left or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, remains. Suppose there was an earthquake and the building crashed to the ground. you could refer to it as the remains of what was once a beautiful building. Now, the remains are scattered all over the earthquake, such as happened in Italy the other day, just scattered the remains of the buildings all over. But most of the time when you're talking, please remain seated. I'll be back in a minute. Please stay where you are. Depart.
Take off.
To go.
Take off.
Leave for